Every single person you ever meet is an absolute slave to their personality. Now, what do I mean by this? Our experience of life is completely determined by how your personality is formed. This includes all of the likes and dislikes that you have and all of the ways of thinking that are core to who you are as a person. Now, all the things that you experience that are crucial and critical to your experience of life, such as your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your actions. These are all produced from your personality based on how your personality was formed when you were growing up. And if your personality was taught to think in a certain way or to act in a certain way, then you will always be a slave to that personality, to the way your personality was formed when you were growing up. We live in a world where people are an absolute slave to their personality. We think that we have control over ourselves, but people rarely ever do. We don't genuinely have the ability to control our thoughts. Our personality just automatically generates them every moment. We don't have the ability to fully control our emotions. Your personality goes ahead and automatically creates those for you every moment as well. So when you go ahead and look at two people interacting or talking to each other in your ordinary life, those two people aren't really talking to each other. It's really just two separate personalities talking to each other. And when one of those two personalities says something to the other personality will respond in the exact way that that personality has been taught or developed to respond. The person has no control over this. The person, most of the time, when you see somebody responding to another person, doesn't have to think about how to respond. It's all automatic based on how your personality was formed to respond. It's almost like you're just along for the ride and your personality is taking the center stage, answering the questions for you. This means that we live in a world of completely restrained individuals, a world full of people who don't have the ability to have full control over their thoughts, emotions, and actions due to the fact that their personality and the way it was developed during childhood is making all of those unconscious decisions for them. And because people don't have the ability to control their thoughts, emotions, and actions, we literally do not have the capability to control our experience of life. And this is a scary thought. My intention on this video is just to summarize exactly how out of control your life truly is from how you would want it to be. Your entire experience of life rests fully upon how your personality was developed during childhood, during your young adult life. Now, some people genuinely luck out with a great childhood, with great parents, with great friends, not consuming too much negative media, and you luck out and you really have a core foundational personality that brings you through life in a positive way. It gives you all the tools and mechanisms that you need to be able to deal with all the hardships that life is going to throw at you. But vice versa, when you're in the opposite situation, you're raised in an environment that isn't conducive to setting your personality up with all the tools and mechanisms it needs to thrive in this world. You are completely limited based on your personality. But more broadly, let's look at this idea of how you're a slave to your personality in a more holistic way. Because your personality constantly churns out these thoughts and is producing these thoughts that you think of as your own, you never actually have any thoughts of your own. The only thing that you are doing is experiencing the thoughts that your personality automatically creates every moment. Your thoughts aren't even really being created by yourself or by your true self. If you haven't begun to separate and dissect apart yourself from your personality, then all the thoughts that you experience as your own will always be stuck or limited within the confines of how you've been taught to think. Now, how do we escape this? How do we actually learn how to control our thoughts, emotions, and actions? We need to break collectively the paradigm within ourselves of how a human views themselves, of how a human relates to the outside world. You can begin this easily by just every day taking different measures to observe within yourself how your personality is automatically creating these thoughts, actions, and emotions within you. You will immediately notice how truly powerless we are to stop this constant flow of thoughts, or to stop these automatic reactions and actions, and to stop these certain muscle tensions within yourself in response to somebody calling you a name. If somebody comes up to you and says something to you, your personality would automatically generate these thoughts and feelings and emotions and responses based upon how your personality is amalgamated, how it is built. Now, if somebody comes up to you and says something that you feel strongly about, maybe something that you absolutely love, you will automatically feel excited because your personality automatically generates that feeling within you based on how it was designed during childhood. Now, as this happens, you need to be able to observe within yourself exactly how automatic it is that your personality generates these thoughts and responses to the other person immediately and effortlessly without you actually having to put forth any creative capacity. Eventually, after doing this for a while, you'll be able to start separating yourself from the mechanical personality that's within you that literally controls your every thinking process, your every action, your every response. After observing yourself and working on this deeply, you'll be able to have your first thoughts, your first emotions, your first control over yourself separate from your personality. You'll be able to generate or stop generating the emotions that your personality was taught to produce automatically when in a given situation. This is how we truly gain the freedom from our personalities. I want you to break the chains of being continually enslaved by the personality. I want you to break the chains of a life being automatically produced continually from your personality and how it was designed to produce life. I want you to break the chains of continually being enslaved to this life of your personality automatically generating whatever thoughts, feelings, and emotions it was taught to give that situation, to produce when in that predicament. Now, I'm Cody, founder of Yourself Unlimited, where I help people break these chains to do exactly that, to step out of the life that was generated unconsciously by their personality. I'm going to have plenty of more videos on this subject, so join the community of individuals who are exploring themselves in a newly deep, profound way and trying to reach a level of human pinnacle that's never been reached before. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy.